Look, the Pittsburgh Steelers just pulled another fast one on the entire NFL. No joke. The Pittsburgh Steelers just landed an absolute steal in this recent draft, and through OTAs, through these mini camp practices, they're being proved correct. And the player I'm going to talk about is none other than Caleb Johnson at running back. And here's the thing. Sitting there at the draft, all the talk was about Genty, Judkins, Travion Henderson, Hampton. Great backs for sure, but the Steelers just sat there with limited draft capital. First, they got Harmon at defensive tackle, absolutely wonderful draft pick, and then they patiently waited. They ended up getting the perfect back for their system. They waited all the way to the third round. Other teams would have gotten impatient. They would have traded up for the eye candy, but Pittsburgh played this draft like a fiddle and definitely pulled one over the rest of the league, and this has ended up being such a sneaky good draft. Let's get to Caleb Johnson. Enough gushing about the draft. I'm just excited for you guys as Pittsburgh Steelers fans. I think you're going to be so happy with this player. But there's two concerns, right, when a new player comes on the team, especially a rookie. We're looking at straight-ahead speed, and we're also looking at pass protection, right? And there might not be a more detailed-oriented player in this rookie class than Caleb Johnson. Throughout camp, his questions that he's asking are just so detailed and meticulous, and this is a guy who's always prided himself on this throughout his career in college. And the eye test. He just looks like an NFL workhorse back. He has the frame, but then you're looking at a 4.57 40 at the NFL Combine. Now, this caused a lot of people, including myself, I'm sure including you guys, to question his speed. But he just shared a fact about it himself, about his GPS time speed. Now, this might seem like a little bit of reach, but if you go by his GPS time speed, he measures up with the top backs in the league as far as straight ahead speed. And Mike Tomlin feels good about this as well. He's not worried for a moment about his speed. Less concerned about the measurables and really more concerned about the play style and the resume. And certainly he's a guy that's capable of high volume carries. And this is here straight from Johnson regarding that GPS speed. My catching ability, my route running, really my speed. Last time I checked, I hit 22 miles per hour, and that's comparable to absolutely anyone, right? He's been dialed into his pass protection more than anything as well, and he realizes in order to get onto the field, I'm going to close this down, in order to get onto the field consistently in his rookie year, he's got to become a polished pass protector. And that's what Jaylen Warren is. That's what even Kenneth Gainwell is. These are the type of players to learn from, and he's definitely doing that. And one thing that could hold him back is these pass protection skills, right? I mean, rookies tend to be a little raw in this department, right? Often coaching staffs don't trust them to do it, especially on passing downs and third down situations. But the guy's really impressing coaches in practice with not only his progress, but with his raw skills coming onto the team from college. And early on back in OTAs, he showed a willingness to, and I quote, put his face into the fan. That's an interesting phrase. I like that. I'm going to keep that. And the team sees him responding just so well in pass protection challenges and in the notes that he takes. And this is according to Steelers running backs coach Eddie Faulkner. And he just says it really simply. He's just wired the right way. So let's talk to Caleb a little bit more. Let's hear straight from him. Pass blocking, that's my main thing. That's what I want to work on. I'm going to work on it every single day. After practice, I'm going over there with the bag right there and hitting it. Coach Faulkner just learning from Jaylen Warren too, because he's one of the best dudes in the league right now at this. I told him, let's do it. Let's work after every practice and do it. He's with it. And I'm down to go. So that's really good to hear. And from people in the organization, they're all giving great reviews for Johnson's work ethic. Already incredibly high in that department. Absolutely no surprise to them to see him soak up all of this knowledge like a sponge. I think you guys have a really good back in Caleb Johnson. I'm going to continue with who he was in college. But this guy's absolutely balling out, not just in the way that he runs, but the way that he asks questions, the way that he's learning from his teammates, and also he's surprising at his raw skills as a pass protector that he's brought onto the team, and he's showing steady improvement with every single practice. And I say you guys because I'm not a dyed-in-the-wool Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I am a Bears fan, guilty. I have a Bears channel, and kind of how I got here with you guys is that when Justin Fields came over to Pittsburgh, I was a fan, started watching Steelers games, and before I knew it, I was doing another channel. I was doing a Pittsburgh Steelers channel, and I dig it. It's been so much fun. You guys have been awesome. Hit the subscribe button. Help me grow this so I can continue to give you Pittsburgh Steelers news on the daily from an outsider's view. Someone who doesn't have skin in the game, someone who's going to tell it to you straight. Just continue to come here and we'll have a lot of fun at it and cut stuff up in the comments. So let's kind of look at Caleb Johnson, who he was coming into the 2025 NFL draft. And really, there's not a better player to fit the scheme that the Pittsburgh Steelers run, what Arthur Smith wants in his backs, than Caleb Johnson. This is the best fit in the entire draft class. And the Steelers, you guys got him in the 3rd round. Just absolutely dominant as a runner, and that's behind Iowa's outside zone blocking scheme. You guys know, why is that important? I'm going to go ahead and say it. That's because the Steelers call outside zone more than any blocking scheme during this last season, and Arthur Smith is going to continue to do so. And this outside zone scheme, it's so specific, and it requires vision, understanding that the cutback lanes and when to press are the most important things, and also having lateral agility. Not straight ahead speed, but lateral agility. Caleb will disagree by his GPS score that he has straight ahead running speed, but we also saw his 40. So if you kind of look back, the Steelers, they let Najee Harris walk in free agency, and Johnson, he's got the upside to step right into his high volume role last year and the years previous, and I think he's a better fit in the scheme. He's more efficient. He accounted for 58% of Iowa's offensive touchdowns in 2024, and that's the highest rate of any running back drafted round 3 or higher over the last 10 years. So think about that. 58% of Iowa's offensive touchdowns in 2024. That is the highest rate of any running back drafted round 3 or higher over the last 10 years. This guy's special by that measure, and I think he's special by the eye test as well. So here's the thing with Iowa. Opposing defenders, they knew exactly what was coming. Iowa was not a prolific offense. If you look back, like, their punter has been their biggest offensive weapon in the past, and they knew exactly what was coming, and Johnson still, he made it happen. He accounted for 40% of Iowa's offensive yards, and that's second only behind Ashton Genty at 42%. These guys are close as far as workload percentage, and he didn't run a fast 40 time, but if you look at the tape, and this is what Mike Tomlin's talking about, he repeatedly broke off explosive play after explosive play, absolutely broke Big Ten defenses, and this is what the Pittsburgh Steelers saw in him, this explosive aspect of his game. And this is something that Pittsburgh hasn't had for a really long time. You guys have seen it. It's been frustrating. And we're looking at passing downs right now. Those belong to Jaylen Warren. But Johnson, if he continues to move forward in his pass pro, which he is, by leaps and bounds every single time that he practices, he might definitely make some serious noise and take over this backfield. And he should. He's the perfect stylistic fit of this Arthur Smith outside zone rushing attack. Now we're kind of looking at his workload. What is the tread that's been taken off his tires, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it. The guy's had no fewer than 250 rush attempts in 4 seasons as Pittsburgh's lead back. This is who I'm talking about, Najee Harris. This is the type of work that he's gotten. 250 rush attempts in 4 seasons per year. And Johnson, he could very well absorb most or all of his work and expand on his previously lacking efficiency that Najee Harris displayed. Pittsburgh kept giving him the rock, but he wasn't very efficient. Caleb Johnson is a different animal, and he showed in Iowa the amount of the offense that he shouldered. He can definitely handle the workload. This is here a little more from Mike Tomlin. This is a high-volume, capable runner who was the center of his offense. A lot of NFL Sunday-like runs, if you will, meaning he did it from the home position or from the pistol position, and he did it into a lot of loaded boxes. It wasn't a lot of guesswork or Saturday-like holes on his tape. That's really interesting. And that made the evaluation a fun one and the projection a really easy one. And this was on the projection when he was coming out of college. And he's now got the opportunity. He gets to play alongside, whatever your opinion is of him, he is playing alongside future Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers. And Caleb Johnson and Aaron Rodgers, they've gotten acquainted too. The two spent time working together earlier this offseason. And his presence in the backfield, his command of the offense, that can make life so much easier for Caleb Johnson in the run game and up his usage in the passing game to the level that Pittsburgh would like to see. And this kind of goes to show a little more how long this has been planned with Aaron Rodgers. I had no idea. I thought Aaron Rodgers was holding them hostage, that they didn't have an idea of what he was going to do. But this plan with Rodgers has been put in place months ago. Aaron Rodgers was throwing with DK. Now it's coming out that he spent a lot of time working with Caleb Johnson earlier this offseason. So, I mean, that very well shows actually what this plan for the Steelers has been. And Rodgers has a history of targeting the running back position in the passing game constantly with great success. And this approach, it's seen numerous running backs just really come into their own with a really well-rounded game. And I think Caleb Johnson not only has the faith of the coaching staff, he's getting faith instilled in him through his starting quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. He's just growing by leaps and bounds every single practice in pass pro. And I don't know if the GPS quote from Caleb really kind of solves this straight ahead speed issue. But if you kind of look at Arthur Smith's offense that he runs, this outside zone scheme, it relies way more on lateral quickness than it does straight ahead speed. I think Caleb's going to be an absolute stud. And also, fantasy football, guys. If you want a Pittsburgh Steelers player to target first and foremost, target Caleb Johnson in your drafts. That's what I'm going to do. I think you can get him with a late first, early second. Just an easy yes to get the running back punch on your squad that's going to lead you to a championship. So just a little snippet. I'm excited for fantasy football to start, and I hope you guys are too. And that's all I got for you today. I'm going to continue to be here on the Daily with Pittsburgh Steelers News, and you guys have a good weekend. I'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.